Welcome to Wisdom Women, the podcast where we meet empowered women and uncover the stories that shaped them. We dive into the role models who lifted them up, the moments that tested them, and what empowerment truly means and what it doesn't mean. From burlesque dancers turned breathwork facilitators to moms who moonlight as entrepreneurs, the wisdom here is raw, real, and undeniably contagious. So please like and subscribe and stick around because today we have with us Maria Richardson. Hello and welcome, Maria.
Thanks for the invitation.
Thank you for coming. I've been looking forward to this talk for so long. I know Maria from the world of dance here in New Jersey. She owned her own studio down in Cranford, and I was starving for some belly dancing, and I came upon her as the closest one that I could get to here. And I was just had so much fun. I forgot about that side of myself, and Maria has always inspired me and included me on little witches coven dances we've done at different festivals in the fall.
Those were fun.
Oh my gosh, like just such a blast. I'm probably a cosplay person very deep inside me. But that is how I know Maria, and we're keeping in touch. Maria is also shifting into some new side of creative expression that she's doing lately, which is just always brave. But please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Oh, well, I'm originally from Brooklyn, so if you hear a little bit of the Brooklyn accent coming out, you'll know why. Come from a Dominican family, and most of our family has come either from the Dominican Republic, Curacao, and Tortola. So we have a mix and a blend of that going on. Early on, I've studied business in high school and in college. I was a political science major and got my hands on a camera in high school. My dad was an avid photographer and videographer, so I kind of picked up that little bug from him. But it's an expensive hobby, I'm not going to lie. And throughout the years, I pick up the camera, put it down. I started doing dance as part of an exercise. I didn't want to take Zumba. So at the same time, there was a belly dance class, and I'm like, oh, let me do that. And it turns out that the teacher was a retired judge. And me working in a law firm, we kind of clicked, and she's like, hey, you got a little potential. Speak to this teacher and, further your education in dance. And here we are 15 years later. Wow. I spent 12 years in professional troupe, and we've toured the world, which was much fun. We've done residencies in Vegas, which was much fun. And now, coming now into my, I don't want to say to my mid-prime, I've decided to pick up the camera again.
Yeah.
And that's my passion. There's a lack of photographers for women in the dance community. So I'm trying to fill that gap. And it's been fun. It's been fun.
Oh my gosh. I've seen some of your work, which is so my style. Like, I love the beauty of it. I think you shared some photos with us, and I couldn't believe the lighting and the design of it. But I didn't know you were going to be doing that with dancers as well, and like really connecting with that image, like those images that are needed.
Yeah. We've had a few female photographers who I've worked with being shot by and being an assistant to throughout the years, but they've left the area. When I say the area, I mean the tri-state area. Okay. So, and one's on the West Coast and one has moved to Mexico. So there isn't anybody local. So I'm trying to fill that gap. I've been around dancers long enough to know what they like, how they want to be seen, and how to pose, and live shots as well. So yeah, so far so good.
Oh, and I think being a dancer yourself, you're going to have that eye for when
I try to get that passion, the look, the color of the costumes, all that, and also the background, because sometimes the background is just as interesting and exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what I loved about the dance is like, it's such a storytelling thing in a lot of ways, right? It's a little attitude, and to catch that on film, it's like one of those beautiful I could see you doing like a coffee table book of like, and
that's not a bad idea.
You know what I'm saying? Like the dancers and their scenes and the stories with them. I mean, it's such an ancient thing. I was just telling a friend of mine, we started doing this daily yoga accountability thing, and we kind of do a thing of dance every day as well. I mean, are you still dancing? Are you doing like any kind of connection
I'm
with that?
semi-retired now.
Yeah. Okay.
Semi-retired.
Well, I think like sometimes I just like go silly in my kitchen, and like,
Yeah, of course, of
and
course.
how
Whenever you
healing
feel
that
that
is. And
beat,
just,
whenever you get that feeling.
oh, yeah. Yeah. And I feel like catching that on film and in a photo is I mean, we had another guest on here that does a kind of sacred photo shoots for women as well. So it's vulnerable in some ways, like really catching someone on film. But I feel like dancers have crossed that already by
Yeah,
being up on
yeah.
stage and performing, right?
I think also dancers, particularly women, are very hard on their bodies when it comes to the body image and what have you. And sometimes when they see
Mm.
their pictures, they're like, I don't look that bad, or it's a
Yeah.
confidence boost. So that's what one of the things that I try to bring out.
Oh,
Like,
well,
look,
that's,
you're doing great. You look beautiful.
yeah. I mean, sometimes it takes seeing it like outside of ourselves and not,
Exactly.
we're just
Exactly.
jiggling in the moment, whatever. Anyway. Okay, well, so I will pass with you, Maria, our first question that we ask our guests on here. And I can't wait to hear a little bit of your connection with empowered women. So, who were the role models in your life that really gave you the image of an empowered woman? We also say, as an asterisk on here, maybe the opposite of what empowerment is, and gave you the motivation to do the opposite. So, who were they for you?
Well, first thing off, my mom coming in as an immigrant from Dominican Republic, not knowing the language and what have you, and guiding and moving through the channels of New York and working as a master seamstress in the city, in the garment district, early on and what have you. And I have to say, my sister as well, she's had a thriving business. She's an electrical engineer. And not only my cousins, everybody is a professional and entrepreneur. My niece, the first thing that she wanted when she was 7 years old was a Clinky kit, which is I found out meant Clinique. And her
Oh,
job out of high school was working at a Clinique store. She is now an
Mm.
esthetician and what have you. So she's always had it
Mhm.
in her. And I learned from her. I consider myself old school. So she was teaching me social media, picking up things here and there. And like I mentioned before, my cousins, everyone has, I don't want to say a side gig, but some kind of hustle. And that was the drive. And not only that, in business, I've been working in law firms all my life and had female supervisors, managers, and everything. So seeing how they maneuvered around meetings that are all men and empowering us as the next generation coming up, how to do things, how to carry yourself and what have you. So I have this, what I call a business swagger.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Tell
So
me
I
more.
feel that I try to feel as comfortable as I can in situations when it comes to business, when it's an all men meeting or not being singled out as a woman. One
Mm.
thing I did do in my career was I used to wear a lot of pants
Uh-huh.
and I felt that was a power thing. And then in the middle, I just flipped it. I only wear dresses now.
Oh, yeah?
And it's because I'm trying to bring out the femininity. I
Yes.
don't want to be looking as masculine anymore
Mhm.
or whatever. Yes, I'm a woman. I'm here at the table with you.
Right,
So
right.
that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And I try to instill that in some of the people that I work with, the people that I
Mhm.
mentor, and bring them to the forefront that you have to be you.
Mm.
So whatever that is, bring it professionally to the table.
And that's like, thank you for sharing that too, because it's a point of like another layer, which I probably should add this to the list of questions I do in here, is about like, well, how do we pay that forward? How do we keep showing, what we've learned? Like, even if it's like, okay, maybe the pants that was needed at the time, maybe that was part of it. That was my learning,
Yeah.
right? And then the authenticity part, like, okay, here's where you can skip that step and say, this is cool too.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times people will see me and they're like, are you dressing in dresses for religion? No. Are you dressing because you're going on an interview? Only I know that. But if I dress the part, you're going to fit in.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind. Your appearance and how you carry yourself, the people you deal with, all reflect on your personality and how people will perceive you.
Right. Right. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's like, don't worry about what I'm wearing. I'm here to work. I'm doing my work.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that. I mean, so considering maybe some of those women that you could see when you were working in your law firm, like coming up, like what were some of those traits of a woman that maybe in your mind you're like, I need more, I need to do more of that? Like what were the ways that they were?
Some of them were not quiet,
Okay.
very vocal in meetings, very proactive about bringing in new ideas. Also, how can I put this? Being generous with their time.
Hmm.
And especially with subordinates and what have you. You have a question, yes, I have time for you. If I have to stay a little bit after work or come in a little early to discuss something with you, I am here. And that's the kind of mentoring I don't see as much anymore, so I try to emulate that.
Yeah.
But that's a big deal. That's a
Why do you
big deal,
think that
especially for
is? Like,
women
do you
coming
feel
up
like
now.
people are just too overbooked? Are we too overscheduled? We don't see value in mentoring people, or why do you think that is?
Like you said, I think it's a time thing. People have, especially women with juggling jobs, children, elderly parents
Yeah.
sometimes, commuting and what have you. But that little cup of coffee or that tea at the kiosk makes a difference to some people.
Mhm.
Just the acknowledgement.
Yeah. Yeah. I find it's like, I think in my heart, I feel like if, for instance, like if I'm just kind of like talking something through with somebody, or maybe another coach is coming up and wants like, just like how the basics on it. And I can be like, was this going to take me 10 minutes out of my day to just sort of share my experience?
Yeah.
No, I'm not teaching or giving advice. It's more like I can just share my experience with this person.
Yeah. We have at the office now, I've done walkies. I picked that little term up from a friend of mine in the dance community. An iPhone. You have a really good camera on your iPhone. People don't know how to use it. And I'm like, let's do a walkie. We go around the block, we take pictures, and I show them how to use different things on their camera. I mean, I'm getting my steps in, I get a little air. Yeah, you get a little conversation going. Now you have something in common.
And Maria, you're bringing the value of better photos on social media.
I'm trying one photo at a time.
But that's awesome. I really do. I think that's like, that is service in a lot of ways, of us just finding different ideas of how to express ourselves through our photo. We all have this like monster phone in our camera, and we can be using it in maybe really valuable ways to enjoy
Yeah,
memories and stuff.
yeah. So,
Oh,
as always, you spread the knowledge.
spread
Each
the
one teach one.
knowledge.
As another mentor of mine, Audrey
Mm.
Davis Dubbing used to say, she's an African dancer here in the Jersey area. And that's one of her terms. Each one teach one.
Each one teach one. That's great. I really love that. I think that, and what I was hearing you say in the beginning of that was around, making the time for somebody, and not that first part you said around like not being quiet. I haven't
Yes.
heard that one in these interviews yet. And that's
Yes.
an important one. Tell me more
It's
about
true.
that,
It's
how
true.
she would do.
I think that women are not allowed to have a voice in certain situations. And it's finding that voice and bringing that voice forward. It may not be at a meeting, at a conference or whatever, but it may be on a paper that you write. It may be on a smaller subgroup or whatever, where you'll feel more comfortable speaking your truth or your knowledge. In a couple of weeks, I'll be going to some roundtables where there'll be different subject matter experts in the field that I'm in, which is information governance. So that's going to be cool, because you don't know what.
Right.
And there's always going to be somebody that's going to spark you and say, hey, I'm going to look into this a little more, or let me align myself with this person because this is something that I want to look into, that sort of thing. And yeah, it just makes it easier to learn.
With like coming together with like groups of women.
Yes.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think that that's shifting. I feel like in the workplaces and even like maybe like moms groups within towns in
Yes.
suburban New Jersey where I am, there's a lot of value I see that people want to gather. And now we have the internet and ways to find our people. Like we have this
Yes.
amazing Facebook group in town that's just plant lovers, like these people that they're good at it. They love to do little plant swaps and everything. And like my mom tells me, she's like, I never had that opportunity. Like you'd have to find
Exactly.
a newspaper, you have to look up a listing and just maybe post an ad. Maybe nobody gets to see it, right?
It's true. I mean, I'm happy to see that a lot of schools are offering the girls who code and that sort of thing for technology. Um, in in my industry, we have something called the Geek Girls, which are all
Uh-huh.
the IT women and what have you, because you don't think that they have a place, but they do.
Yeah, I mean, like, why do they feel that way? It's like it's just kind of like society kind of keeps that like, well,
Well,
this is
I think it's the structure of especially like I said, I work in a private law firm. I think it's
uh-huh.
just the structure because the IT people are always behind the scenes
Yeah.
and they're the ones running everything and you don't see them. So this is
Mhm.
kind of like a support group for them and yeah, I've been trying to crack into that group.
It's called Geek Girls?
Geek Girls, yes.
Geek Girls Unite. That's awesome. Oh, really? You know what? I mean, even if somebody or, a certain personality tends towards the introvert side, like we don't want to be alone. I speak for
No.
myself.
That's why I was saying sometimes you don't feel like you have a voice at the office. And
Right.
being at a conference might be a too big a venue with
Mm.
people that you don't know or whatever. But in a group like this of people who know what you know, I guess you're more comfortable speaking
Yeah.
and discussing. So
No, absolutely. And that's to me from just experience, you learn how valuable that is because so much knowledge and creativity is
right.
like just waiting behind that confidence boost that can happen where you're like,
Yes.
holy cow, this person's completely innovative and solution focused and they have like all of these ideas.
Yeah. Well, like you.
Thank you.
I seriously thought you were a mom in the evenings coming to take some dance classes when you in between the schools and the kids and sports, and here you are doing this. This is a big deal, and I want to congratulate you on your third
Oh,
season
thank
of the
you.
program.
I do it all, Maria. I do it all. It's all part of it. But that's right. I mean, like the space for this kind of connection and these stories and just like you're talking about even within a law firm or a dance studio, it's like this stuff is I just don't feel like it's as available as it could be. I think for me, I was just thinking today, okay, so the thought today I had was, how have I met all these women right before we were getting on
Yeah,
our call? It's like,
yeah,
and I think there's certain personalities, like people might relate to this where I am like a seeker. Like I want to find these people. I want to be a part of that. I want to, what's that? Okay, maybe that's not for me. Like I'm a dabbler in lots of ways. But I don't know if everyone's able to do that. And that's not always comfortable for a lot of people. And it might be out of their comfort space. So, it's like people like you and me, I think that's our job to sort of create that space and build it and they will come type
well
of thing.
also, and like you said, is as you meet people, people are putting your in your life for a reason, for a season or
Hmm.
whatever. I've met some really, really great women while I was running the studio,
Hmm.
and that I'm still friends with now, and I plan to keep as colleagues, as friends, going forward because they add value and richness to my life because of all the things that they've gone through or we've seen together and involved. So yeah, you never know where you're going to get that inspiration or that spark.
All these things are popping in my head. Like, I think, right? Like, everyone needs a Wisdom Women podcast of like creating their library, or like, who are my women? Who
Yeah,
are these people?
yeah.
Maybe that could
And
be something
unless
really
you
cool.
ask about it, like you asked me gave me the questions ahead of time,
Hmm.
I started thinking, oh my God, I want to mention this person. I want to mention that person. And I can't forget the other person. But then this is about me.
Yeah,
I
that's
do want to
right.
give, accolades where they belong, but all of those things have made me who I am today.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I never thought of it that way. Like, everybody that's in this list, this library of episodes, like they've given we share bits and pieces of our empowerment with each
Yeah,
other. And then we share it forward and then we share it forward.
exactly.
Ooh, it's going deep there like that. All right. Well, this is usually the part of the episode where we can pull a little card. Are you up for that? Do you
Okay.
like to do a little?
Sure, sure, sure. My
All
my
right.
cat here wants to pull a card as well.
Oh, meow. Hey, meow. I know my cat is usually, like I was saying, he sits in the background of this camera, like baking biscuits this whole episode, like pushing in there. And I'm always trying to like adjust the camera slightly because it's just slightly distracting, but can't help it.
She's
Oh,
a little
well.
boisterous today.
We love our kitties. All right. So today I brought out the Asha Frost deck, which is sacred medicine. It's really beautiful. I actually got to see her last weekend. Sarah Jenks had like a retreat thing up in Boston, and she was one of the speakers. And she's this beautiful indigenous woman, kind of bringing all the practices and things back into her lineage. And the artwork is just really cool on this.
Very cool.
So, plug for the sacred medicine deck. And what I'm going to do, I clear the cards as always, and then I'm going to start shuffling. And you can just kind of take a breath. And whenever you feel called, you say stop, and I'll pull
Okay.
the card that's on top.
Okay. Stop.
Oh,
One
it's
fall
this
out.
one. Holy camole tamale. Okay. Just look at what I pulled up. The shawl dancer, number 10.
That almost looks like our costume.
Yeah. This is beautiful, and it's the theme of this is called Wild. We're in it today. Okay, let me read it. Okay, number 10, the shawl dancer. Okay, when we dance at a powwow in a circle, we move in a clockwise motion. We start where the sun rises in the eastern doorway as it represents the beginning of a brand new day. This shawl dancer appears to invite you into a new sacred dance for yourself. Where have you been playing it safe in your life? Where are you following the ways in which society has conditioned you? For anyone watching this is for anyone. And what ways are you doing and not being? Sometimes in our lives, we lose connection to our deepest desires. We slide into a rut. And today, this dancer comes dressed in bright, beautiful color to remind you that life is meant to be pleasurable. And it's time to dance it out and shake it up. This dancer is asking you to find your freedom. Let your wild, colorful, and radical self come out. As you dance, feel yourself releasing all the conditioning, oppression, and ways that you've bottled up your true nature. A fresh new way of being in the world is calling to you. Find your sacred dance, root in pleasure, and see your desires manifest effortlessly before your eyes.
Thank you for that.
What do you think of that one?
That's spot on. That is spot on.
And I think it's so great.
Yeah, the
Like
type of
everything you're
belly
talking
dance.
about, like the conditioned oppression and certain ways of finding your voice and those levels of empowerment that kind of shine
Yeah.
through in that way. What do you think? Sorry, I just cut you
No,
off.
no, that's fine. That's fine. The type of belly dance that I was doing, it was called American Tribal Belly Dance at the time. And the name has changed, but it was created by a woman for a woman, and it was considered tribal belly dance. We danced in tribes, which what we called groups. And one of the things that we would do is dance in a circle clockwise.
What?
Yeah. Well, we would call it going into the bar and then leaving the bar, but same thing. And it was meant to empower. It was meant to honor different genres and a variety of regions. And it was very inclusive. It was very inclusive. At first, it was only for women, and we started allowing some men to join us, and it's been a blessing. It really has. So it's very inclusive.
Wow. That is beautiful.
That
The
was
shawl
spot on.
dancer. I
That was
love
spot
it.
on. I need a picture of that one when we
I'll
finish.
send it to you. Right after our call. I'll send this over to you. It's really beautiful. So wild, so free, connecting to that side of ourself. And the healing affirmation, I unravel the old ways from my system and twirl into the beauty of a new way. Something new is coming for you, Maria.
I'm open for it. I am open for it.
Well, so as we wrap up, I'd love for you to just share with people. Well, I'm sure you'll send me some links. I can put them in the details of this video as well. But tell us what you're up to, anything coming up, and where they can find you for any of your services.
Sure, I do. I'm going to be shooting at the Spring Fling in New Egypt, New Jersey next Saturday. It's going to be a belly dance show, and that should be a lot of fun. And you can find me on Facebook and IG, Maria Richardson or Naja Dancer. And my website, www.mdrichphoto.com. So feel free to take a look and see what you like. And if you want to book something, that'll be great. Weather is opening up. So
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
Good. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, definitely check out Maria's website and poke around at the beautiful, beautiful photos that are on there. Yeah, it's so great. So awesome stuff. So thank you again, Maria. This has been such a sweet conversation. Thank you for sharing your stories and all of the wise women that have come through your life and sharing that forward with the next people. So
thank you so much for inviting me. I've had a lot of fun.
awesome.
And it's good catching up, Rachel.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Maria, take care. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Rachel.